Clayton Kershaw, his last start at home for the Dodgers. Is he not starting this week, or was that just his last start at home?
That was his last start at home, regular season. Playoffs, different story. He could get a start. I don't know if he'd get a start
He's
the
probably coming
first
out of the
round,
pen
but
in the first round.
I would think so. Yeah. But he could start a game if they go into the next series, because if you go 7 games, especially.
And good riddance is what I say.
Yeah. Adios.
Because he dominated the Giants like nobody else, I think, in the history of Major League Baseball. And I was thinking about it because if you remember, he and Lincecum were young pitchers. Lincecum's a little bit older than him, I think, around the same time. And, Lincecum comes up in 2008, 2009, Cy Young, and then the Giants win it all in 2010. And then Kershaw's just on a roll, like maybe the single most consistent pitcher in the National League in the last 15 years. But the difference was always in how they pitched in the postseason. And Lincecum in 2010 was the MVP of the entire postseason after winning Game 6 against Texas. And then Lincecum has a really good 2011. And then in 2012, he just falls off just big time. And he does help in the 2012 playoffs as well. He comes out of the bullpen and helps that team. And then in 2013, 2014, just dreadful. 2015, dreadful. And then soon he's gone. And you look at Kershaw, who was so consistent up until recently, where he's definitely lost something, and that's just due to age. But he he never had those playoff moments in the same way that Lincecum did. His, the photo, that the meme was just of him in the dugout sitting on the bench holding his head, like that was the meme, right? And you wonder how these guys are so competitive. Like I wonder how much, if he had a Lincecum 2010 moment, I wonder how many of his regular season dominance he would give up just to have that Lincecum 2010 scenario where he was the man. Because Kershaw wanted to be that. He desperately wanted to be that. Right. They even tried to run him out there like Mad Bum that one year, remember? Right. Where he came and he pitched and it just like that whole thing, like Lincecum and Mad Bum had these just historic playoffs, and then Kershaw just never had it. He's got 2 rings, though. You can't take that away from him. He does have 2 rings. Some will say that one of them is a what do they say, a Mickey Mouse ring?
Yeah,
and that was kind of mean, because then the Giants had Mickey Mouse Day at Oracle Park last year. That really made Dodger fans mad, by the way. I had my Dodger fans buddy was just like so mad. He's like, "You guys are trolling. What the hell?"
It should make them mad. They should be mad about that. Nobody should be happy about that World Series title if you're a Dodger fan.
But I guess I would say, what is your Kershaw memory? And it doesn't have to be a positive one, because there's so many not positive for them. It doesn't have to be positive for them. But like when you think of Kershaw, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
When I think of Kershaw, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is the meme. It's the picture. It's the, faltering in October. It's the falling apart in October and giving up tons of hits and tons of runs and getting losses when the team counted on him. In a world where we are right now, where everybody's feeding off of hate and this type of stuff and divisiveness, I always try to bring things together and, show some love and this and that. But when it comes to Kershaw, you just can't. I can't do it. So I think of those times, and I relish in those times, because, as a Giants fans, we don't want to see the Dodgers win the World Series. We don't want to see them win a playoff series even. So when his time came up, we thought, oh, this is going to be beautiful. If he takes them out and gets the loss for them and gets blown up, we're just going to eat that up. It's going to be fantastic. I think the other one too wasn't there a game where Joe Panic hit 2 home runs off of him? Am I remembering? That's
That's a
one.
good question. So mine is gonna be when Mad Bum hit a jack off of Kershaw. I'm trying to pinpoint what game that was. Because I don't actually know if this was the game, but I went to Giants opening day. I want to say it was 2000. Was it 2017? Um, and I remember this clearly because I did the Giants and Dodgers, or I'm sorry, Giants and Warriors back to back. So the Giants played in the day, and then we shot out to see the Warriors that night play the San Antonio Spurs. But I'm trying to remember because I want to say it was the Giants Dodgers and Bumgarner went deep, but it may not have been Kershaw. But I know that he's taken Kershaw deep twice in his career, which was always kind of fun. And I feel like the Lincecum and Kershaw matchups early when Lincecum was on, those were great. But the Bumgarner and Kershaw matchups were the one that I feel were a little bit more memorable because they're both left-handed. They're both kind of tall, skinny, not even skinny, just tall, like built dudes, like athletic dudes, and those were some battles. I always felt like I'm gonna guess that Kershaw got the better of Bumgarner in more than Bumgarner got the better of Kershaw. But I
Well, because
always felt
we couldn't hit lefties, that's why.
we couldn't hit, and we
And we
couldn't hit
still can't
him.
hit lefties.
And then but I always felt like they had a great chance to win those games when it was Bumgarner, and I didn't feel that well when it was another pitcher going up against Kershaw. Who was there was a lefty who beat Kershaw when the Giants needed it one year. I forget what that dude's name was. He's like a quadruple A pitcher. But
I know what you're talking about. I did going back to the Joe Panic thing, I misremembered it, but it is actually record breaking for the Giants. Joe Panic hit the solo home run off of Clayton Kershaw. I think it was opening day 2018, and they won 1-0. And then the next day, Joe Panic hit a solo home run off of Kenley Jansen, and they won that game 1-0. So they won back-to-back games 1-0, and Joe Panic hit solo home runs in both of those games to win it. So that was a fun one. I remember when Panic hit that home run, and the look on his face was like, I just took Clayton Kershaw deep. And this was 2018 too. 2018 Clayton Kershaw. So pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, no. That's good stuff. I think if I'm correct, maybe it's 2018 that this happened, but I can't figure it out. I should have thought about it before we started talking. But yeah, just good riddance. Dude owned us, and I don't like seeing his face, and he can go away. But for him, he's gonna go. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He'll be there in 5 years, and I can't imagine many people not voting for him.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.